Mail-in ballots, protesters, the national anthem. What about the markets? What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, August the 2nd. Wow, there's so much stuff going on. It's hard to know where to start. I mean, again, from the protesters that are supposed to be peaceful, which in Portland have turned not so peaceful as they burn pigs' heads and things like that. I mean, you know, it's protesting again is a right, but not a right to be dangerous and murderous and do things as they're doing now. And I think this is always the problem when you see, and we know, well, we don't know, but I'm going to assume there's money behind this that is trying to create the narrative of what is really happening. Again, I think it always has to go back to the election. I mean, this is one of the worst election years I can remember in the history for me, seeing what's going on and the way that two parties have gone whacked, okay, and where we are. I mean, nobody's worried about the economy. The falling about the economy. I mean, I know some are. It's obvious, you hear it, who it is. But there are some that would rather tank the economy and fail to win an election and are allowing much of this to happen. Again, I'm not picking a side here. I believe in peaceful protesting. I believe in having the right to demonstrate. But I do believe that something has got to be done here because, A, the federal government has the right to go in with troops to calm things down, number one. But number two, why are the mayors of these cities and governors such a pain in the ass that they would rather see their cities burned? I mean, again, I don't understand it. We'll see. But again, the divisiveness here is becoming worse. And of course, we get to the national anthem, which now that the NBA is back in session and back in season, and they're playing in the bubble, of course. Now, again, I said this originally when Colin Kaepernick first went to a knee on the national anthem. It is his right to go to a knee. It is the players' right to go to a knee for the national anthem. If that is their choice, they have a right, okay? They should not be criticized for that, although I do not agree with it. And I think it is shameful, and I think it is very disrespectful. However, as Americans, you have the right to do that, which is the beauty of being an American. You have the right to do things like this. Now, I think it's taken into a much bigger ordeal. I do believe it is disrespectful, but again, one of the things you have as an American is the right to protest, the right to take a knee if you choose to do so. Okay, again, I'm not a fan, as you know. I mean, I am a fan of standing for the national anthem. I think we respect this country. But I think what we're seeing is the country trying to be torn down in a political battle. And this, although I am not forgiving the right, okay, I believe this battle is being more waged by the left. Okay, I believe after everything else failed to remove the current president, this is the last stand. Okay, the only thing they can do is create a mess in the country, a mess with the economy, and that will be their opportunity to try to win this. Now, again, I don't know how they can win with a guy who's halfway out the door to begin with, but again, we'll see. We'll see in less than 100 days now. Okay? But now we go into these mail-in ballots. Now, again, I understand what's going on, and look, I'm not either party in history can rig or try to dominate an election through, technology where people don't have to show up. Now, I have no problem if they go to total absentee ballots. I think that you should have to sign for your ballot because we've already seen that there are dead cats receiving ballots. There are dead people receiving ballots. Yeah, this is like Chicago, okay? I assure you that there was some funny business when JFK won the election in Chicago. We know that Chicago or Illinois was the major swing for him, and there's always been stories And I would say, and I would bet that they're true. I have no factual evidence. I'm giving you my opinion. But I do believe there is a deep state. I do believe there's a lot of stuff that goes underneath the surface that, of course, the lobbyists and the politicians get the most financial benefit from while sticking it to the American people once again. And I don't think this time is any different. Again, I just believe that there's no way that you should be able to have a ballot unless you've signed for it and indicated that you want to vote. Okay. Again, I don't care what party you're on. This is not a party situation. This is a straight. If the other side, if the right was trying, if the Republicans were trying to get in and they weren't in, I'd be worried about them manipulating the election. Again, the one thing I always want, okay, is a fair, clean election. But we can see that I think we're all learning through all of this ordeal that the political parties, okay, this is more of a grasp for power, which is really more of a grasp for money, okay? I think that you and me, the American people, are a secondary thought to all of them, okay? I do believe this, and I will say this, and you can give me all those nasty letters as usual, okay? I do believe that the current president genuinely has the American people in his sights and is happy to try to do the best he can for them, okay? But I would say the rest of the government, okay, is not, okay? And I'm talking about, you can talk about McConnell, you can talk about all those guys on the right, and you can talk about those on the left. I think this is a ridiculous battle that is obstructing the American people, which is killing our economy, okay? Again, we just saw a GDP print, the worst in history. Now again, we know it's a shutdown, so we know we have a legitimate reason for these things to happen. But you know, why are we still totally shut down? Is the virus as bad as they say, or is it truly just a political battle? Okay, and that's more what it is. I personally believe. Now, again, you can disagree. This is an opinion. I personally believe that this is a political battle, not an actual battle of the virus. Now, the only thing I can look back at is statistics of what is happening. And certain places that have not shut down throughout the world are already on the other side of this because they've gotten what they call the herd immunity. Now, again, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that is my personal opinion as to what is happening here. And I think that is another problem, which is killing the economy. Okay, but again, the reasons that the economy is killing because we're not open. So we've got all our businesses going out of business. All small businesses are being bust. What's going to happen if we don't get this under control and we don't allow these places to open, like to restaurants, when the winter comes? You know, you can't dine outside all year round. Okay, so what's going to happen then? What's going to happen to these other small businesses that depend on people to be out and about, and they're not? Okay, so again, I think that this is something that is much more serious. And again, I personally believe that you should allow people to do as they always do. And of course, those that are at high risk, elderly, pulmonary diseases, obese, should have to be very, very careful. But again, children under 15, their death rate is less than the death rate from the flu this year. Okay, so again, I think that you got to get these kids back in school, and it's not because you have to get them back in school for the learning. You have to get them back in school for the social experiences, because again, we know that kids, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, this is a huge period of them for becoming socially and understanding skills of being social. And enough of this stupid texting and emailing and BS that we have to go through now, because again, it makes a lot more sense to me, okay, to have kids learn. I mean, I think we've lost a lot through all this technology. Right about the virus, I think we've lost a lot of personal contact. And I think that's a problem, which is keeping more and more people on the inside locked in, even before or after this virus is over. And I think that's also a problem. That's where we really need to get these social skills, and I think that is creating a much bigger area. Okay, and of course, we've got, landlords are going to have some big problems now. Again, there's going to be a lot more non-payments of rents. Again, there's going to be a lot more people that cannot pay. There's a lot more people not working, and of course, this whole stimulus bill, which I do believe is bull. Okay, I do not want to see a package that is being presented by either party. I want to see payroll tax cuts. Okay, I want to force people that are making more money sitting home to go to work and get the payroll tax so they get the raise versus getting free money for sitting home. If you think that all this free money and all this stimulus doesn't come at a great cost, it is coming at such a dramatic cost that will probably not be realized by everyone in this country for years. But we've already seen over the last 30 years what the intervention of the Fed can create and what it can do to the monetary and dollar policies. Okay, and we've seen a lot of the destruction that has been created by what they've already done. Okay, so do you really want to go and even go further? Okay, because again, at the end of the day, you and me get to pay for it. You and me get the burden of having to pay for everybody else's. So not only do you already pay high taxes, but you have to pay more because, again, we've got to support all these programs versus getting people to go back to work, reopening most of the economy. Okay. Now, again, I'm not a scientist. I'm not an expert. I'm just telling you what my opinion is. And certainly, I would have no problem going somewhere now. Okay. Again, I think that it is what it is. And I think you have to, again, if you have the right healthy position, okay, you can go. Okay. But look, I think that we should be more concerned about the economy because nobody's talking about the hidden costs of the shutdowns. Nobody's talking about the back to drug addictions, back to suicides, back to depression, back to all these things that are worse than the virus. Okay. So again, I think that there needs to be many, many adjustments. Okay. And again, I go back to, the whole setup and really the battle here, okay, for power. And unfortunately, I believe that the people that are trying to get power now are trying to take it out on basically us because at the end of the day, they are destroying the economy, okay, which is the thing we should be concerned about now because so many of us are not working, so many businesses are closing. So to me, that is the bigger issue of everything and needs to be rectified because, again, you can cure the virus with nobody having a job, no business, and no money, but it doesn't do you a lot of good. Okay. So in the meantime, we'll see how it plays out. I mean, again, thank God it'll be over in 100 days. Of course, maybe it won't be. If it's mail-in, it might not be over 10 years, by the time they count all the ballots. So in the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Horowitz. I'm going to step out here for a break, and I'll be back with more in the market action from last week after the break. So kids, what's up, everybody? Hey, we did a great webinar yesterday on our synthetic stock and creating our portfolios, which have been, I can't believe the numbers. They've been knocking the ball out of the park, but again, that's something you have to see for yourself, but just unbelievable, okay? In the meantime, if you'd like a copy of that webinar, just email me at bubba@bubbatrading.com. And of course, a brand new relationship with Family Farms. We're looking forward to go to Hastings, Nebraska on Thursday, so that'll be a lot of fun. And of course, our brokerage partners, I mean, again, I believe we have the best, okay? And there's been a lot of discussion even in my chat room about brokers and things like that. Ours is, I believe, the best to use. And again, I have others, so I'm not just saying one. I have different accounts for futures, I have different accounts for equities, and I have them all over the place. But in the meantime, for letter direction trading, even myself personally, I use CTG. Okay. CTG does my letter direction trading. They do everything else for me. They've got some great new products coming on. They do stuff for my members. So again, I'm very satisfied and very happy there, and I think they do a great job, and I think that you get great customer service, which is all I can ask for, and I think that you want to check them out. And also for equities and options, there is Tradier. Again, to me, I look for those who are the best in my opinion. Now, again, I've got accounts elsewhere, but Tradier, first of all, $10 a month. Second of all, same execution as anywhere else, great customer service. I can't tell you how many times I've called other brokers when it's been busy and can't get them on the phone. Okay, and I got to sit there and wait and hope. So again, I've got a special link for each one of those. If you'd like to find out more information, just email me at bubba@bubbatrading.com. And of course, the commodity report. Andy Hecht with Technomental is ripping the cover off the ball between his commodities and ETFs that he uses to sub in for those who don't want to trade. Check out Technomental. Go to bubbatrading.com and just look at Technomental. The report is there. It's $100 a month or $800 annually. Trust me, it is well worth your while if you're a commodities trader or commodities player. And of course, don't forget about our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, Todd Bubba Horowitz. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Horowitz. It is Sunday, August the 2nd. And of course, the markets care about nothing. Interestingly enough, the markets care about nothing. But of course, I don't know if they care about nothing, but again, money finds a way to try to make money and will ignore anything that's going on, which is I think what you're seeing. But again, it doesn't matter until it does. And right now, markets want to go higher. Okay. Again, immediately within an hour after the GDP print on Thursday, then the markets took off. After having a somewhat tough week, it looked like they were going to be lower on the week. Bang, out comes the GDP. Bang, up go the markets. Okay. And again, think about that. But this is why we say, if you trade the news, you lose in the first place. So again, this goes back to what we talk about all of the time. Trade the news, you lose. You've got no chance. Okay. In the meantime, NASDAQ is once again pushing towards new highs. Dow is pushing to the top end of a range. S&P and Dow, not so much. S&P and Russell and Dow, not so much. In the meantime, we're long all three, as we have been and will be, okay, all four, until we change. It's really that simple. I don't look at it from any perspective one way or the other. That explosion on Friday in the NASDAQ late was unbelievable. Now, what does it mean? We'll see. Again, I can't predict the future. I just know what I know, and I know what I've got, and I know what the algorithm says, so I'm staying with what I got. Okay, to me, it's pretty simple, right? Not a lot of thought has to go into it, okay? I'm doing this, I've done this, and that's it. And you should see the futures portfolios if you really want to see the real results. In the meantime, the metals, my goodness gracious. Everything but platinum. Now, we're long them all, but that platinum was great last week, and it came back this week. But geez, gold and silver, gold over 2,000. Now, in December futures, silver exploding. Okay, they had one little thought, they gave me one little pause for the concern that they might settle down, and the next thing they were breaking out again and blowing off. So look, at some point there's going to be a pullback in these metals, but I would assume, based on current action, the pullback will be more of a consolidation pullback, okay, not a reversal, and then a resumption. I would expect to see, I would say if I'm going to target, 2,200 in gold for the next target. Again, it can go a lot higher than that, but again, I don't try to look to, ridiculous levels and say it's going here. I look at it one level at a time, and silver looks to me, 27 to 28, 30, right in that area. Well, then we'll see. Again, you have to evaluate after how each move works, so we'll see. Crude oil, again, I hate being long it. I'm still long it. It looked like it was going to sell off a little bit. Now, it has had a couple of attempts. One thing you might think about when you watch a market, if you're not using the algorithm, is it could be getting ready to actually take off to the upside. Okay. Now again, I don't think so, but that watching the price action, the inability to sell it off, because there was a couple of times last week they tried to bury it and they couldn't. Okay, it came back. Now it didn't explode higher, but it didn't break down, which by all rights it had a right to. It did not. So again, we're still long. I hate it. I'd rather be short. But again, based on the current pricing action, it still could go either way. Okay. And bonds are another animal. Okay. Bonds and notes. Are you kidding me? Again, this is obviously very Fed related, which we'll talk about in our commentary. But again, the bonds continue to go to the moon, and all that means is more free money. Okay. And again, that's a real problem when you take into consideration how the money is being created. You and I are paying for it. The banks are giving it away for free. every time a bank makes a loan, especially now that they have no reserve limit on how much they can lend out, they're printing so many new dollars because, again, they can lend out at, let's say 20 to 130, whatever it is. Yeah, they can lend out all they want. So every dollar they put out is new money in the market. Okay, again, think about it. All that is new money being created out of nowhere. Okay, but again, obviously, you continue to see this happen, and bonds are going to continue to go higher until they don't. Again, I hate being long, but God bless, I am. Okay, and the dollar continues to get smushed. Now, it did bounce from a little bit of support late in the week, but it's still ugly. Okay, just take a look at it. I mean, it's down from, I think, got to 102. It's now about 93.5. I would expect, I would see probably the 90s. Okay, first one is got to break those 92, but I think 90s is probably where it's headed. 90 or so, maybe. Because it came from 88. So, and the euro currency obviously continues to go the other way, which is, again, these are the central banks manipulating currencies for whatever reason. Okay. I mean, I know the reason, but I don't agree with it, and I really don't understand it, so I'm not even trying to explain it, because, again, to me, it's one of the most illogical things I've ever heard. Okay, natural gas a little bit higher. Copper, again, I've been worried about copper, and copper is usually a sign of markets. Now, we're long copper, but it has started to kind of turn over. It's been very volatile. Again, I think what you learn about markets is when they're very volatile in a range, they're getting ready to break one way or the other. Well, personally, I think there's a trend change coming, but again, I'm not predicting it. I'm still in my exact same positions and will be. But so to me, it indicates, obviously, listen, we know the economy sucks. So what is propelling copper to these high levels? That's what would be a potential problem. And again, we'll see at the end of the day. I mean, right now, we're still long, but I can see in the chart that things look a little bit weak, and I would not be surprised at all if we start to see a reversal and start to see it head lower. But for now, again, I'll stay long. I mean, there's no reason for me to outguess it, outsmart or outthink it. And of course, the poor grains, geez Louise. I mean, look, a simple problem. Okay, there's no business, there's no economy, too much supply, not enough demand. So just look at those things. And I'm not a fundamental guy. Okay, I'm a technical guy. But technically, we're short corn, we're short beans, and we're long wheat. At the end of the day, they all look like crap, actually. Now, again, usually at some point, they will decide that the bottom is over, okay, and is in, and they will move. But again, we're coming up once again against some key levels in corn that could really lead to some devastation. Soybeans could flip either way. I mean, they're right at the cusp of going back to being in an uptrend, into a buy versus a sell. And wheat, wheat was languishing around and got drilled and is now coming off the bottom. So at the end of the day, again, look, personally, although I'm short two and long one, I'd like to be long them all. I'd like to put them in my own bins, but again, I'm not going to do that, obviously. But that's where I would like to be. And meats, I mean, cattle, how much better can it look, right? Fats and feeders continue to charge higher, feeders even better. And again, what I say to you is just this. I like them anyways, but why would we fight what's going on? So we're still short hogs, although hogs are showing, again, I've said this, I don't know, about almost every day, but they're showing some great signs of getting ready to turn. So we'll be ready, we'll be dressed for the party when they do turn, and until then, let's see what goes on. Again, that's your market update. This is the Bubba's Bottom Line, and this is Todd Bubba Horwitz. We're going to step out for a break and come back with my commentary right after the break. Bubba's Bottom Line. What's up, everybody? All right. Well, listen, we got some great things happening. We've got family farms coming up this week in Hastings, Nebraska. Got a little conference to go to. Really excited about that. And of course, did a great webinar yesterday on our equity portfolios, creating synthetics. You're certainly welcome to get a copy of that. Just email me at bubba@bubbatrading.com. And, I talk about our brokerage partners because, again, to me, obviously brokerage is a very important cog in what you do and where you're happy. Now, CTG for my letter direction trading, for my futures, for my commodities. I mean, to me, there's nobody better, okay, because, again, I care about being customer served. I care about my members getting service. That's more important to me. I mean, I know places all over, but I think I found over years that this is the best place for letter of direction and for communication with the client, and also with communication with me. So again, when you have a problem, you don't want to wait on hold. Okay, so CTG, futures and commodities, and I've also got some great new products of their own. And then there's Tradier for equities. Again, $10 a month. That's the number you should be thinking about. Okay, if you're trading at all, because you're still paying something wherever you're at, but at Tradier you pay 10 flat, no 65 cents, no 35, no nothing. It's $10 flat. Okay, you want information either one of those? Just email me, Bubba@BubbaTrading.com, and of course, our commodity report, technical. I mean, again, what can I say? Andy Heck's been doing this for 40 years. He's been a physical commodities trader. He's the #1 writer for Seeking Alpha. I mean, he understands the markets. He puts together a great spreadsheet, a great report. Technical, it is unbelievable. $100 a month, $800 a year. You want to check it out and try it out? Go to BubbaTrading.com, Technical. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line Top Reports, and we'll get right back to the show with my commentary right now. Welcome back. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, and of course, every week I give you a little bit of commentary. And not that I don't comment the whole time or bitch the whole time, but again, I do always my commentary on some specific items, and I think today are the central banks irrelevant? Is the Fed irrelevant? Is the Fed destroyed our economy, and are they trying to get us to a digital currency? Okay. Well, you all know my opinion of the Fed. In the first place, I believe they're the most clueless organization that there is. Supposedly an independent group, but they are becoming more and more the government. Okay. Again, the whole naming of the Federal Reserve was to make people think it was part of the government. Okay. It is not, but certainly it has been part of it in certain ways, and it is getting closer to being part of the government. The programs, what they're doing, what they've done since Greenspan. Okay. I mean, again, I'm going back to 1980, okay, when this bond bubble started to grow. It's now going for 40 years. Okay, this is ridiculous. All they're really doing is shuffling around money to make your portfolio appear to be bigger than it is. Okay, again, if you know, when I started trading on the floor, the Dow was 800. It's now 26,000. The economy has not improved by the amount of the stock market, which is obviously the inflationary part and what the Fed is trying to create, and also the artificial bubble asset pricing that force you to think that you're in better shape. But I ask you, if you think you're in better shape, just look at what you make today and go back a number of years and see what you made then, and see, did you have to work as hard to live the same lifestyle? And I think that is problems, okay? Because again, why is the Fed putting a tailwind behind gold? I have no problem with that. I mean, I'm long gold. I'm happy about that. But why is the Fed continuing to get involved here instead of just letting the free markets and price discovery make asset classes what they're actually worth? Because at the end, it's always going to be the same. Whatever they're worth, they're worth. Okay? So why do we have a need for an organization that just continues to manipulate and is nowhere near the Fed mandated what they're supposed to be doing? Okay, so in my eyes, you need to end the Fed. At least I'd love to see an audit of the Fed, which you'll never see. But again, look, there's a lot of things I'll never see in my lifetime. But I hope that some people get it done over time, because to me, it's as ridiculous as there possibly can be. And many of the things we see today are just such ridiculous, so silly, okay, and so much designed, okay, just to punish the American people and take more of their money through the tax system. That's what I see. In the meantime, have a great weekend, everybody. I hope that baseball makes it, okay, through this pandemic. There's a talk they might close it down tomorrow. It's scary, that part of it, and of course football starting. Which, if there's no football, it'll be a long fall. In the meantime, Mr. Dollar Man, thank you for my beautiful T-shirt, my beautiful polo shirt. Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend. Again, as always, be careful, be healthy, and make sure that when you are trading, you use patience, discipline, and know your exits, and you'll be a much happier camper. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bubba's Bottom Line. We'll see you tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update.